Okay, before we start the review, quick question. Pass or smash? This is my review for She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Episode 1. This is going to be filled with spoilers, so I highly recommend you watch the episode first before watching this video. You have been warned. This was a show that I was intrigued with, but hesitant to watch, mostly because of the CGI for She-Hulk. The trailers didn't exactly work for me, to say the least. But watching the first episode months after the trailers released, I can see that there was clearly an improvement made to the effects. It's not perfect, but it doesn't take me out of the show. The VFX for the most part are actually pretty decent with a few hiccups here and there, specifically with an alien spaceship and when She-Hulk moves her mouth at some points. Just the VFX work on Bruce alone is fantastic. Just look at this shot right here. The lighting, the level of detail on his face, like the beard really, the hairs on his arms, all top notch. The VFX team obviously worked hard on the show. Now, if only Marvel would actually treat those VFX artists well. The episode is mostly an introduction to the character of Jennifer Walters and her training with Banner to control her Hulk mode. These were my favorite parts of the episode. We get some answers like how Hulk reverted back to his human form, how his arm healed, and where Bruce resides. The show also explains that Bruce's blood only has a 1 in a million chance of turning someone into a superpowered freak like Abomination or the Leader. It all comes down to genetics. We see that Jennifer's Hulk is slightly different in that she doesn't have an alter ego like Bruce did before. Also, unlike Bruce, she spent her entire life controlling her emotions, so she doesn't struggle as much with transforming back into her normal self. The best thing about this episode is the relationship between Bruce and Jennifer. Their dynamic was really good, and I enjoyed the actors' chemistry. I think that the casting choice was a good one. I enjoy that She-Hulk doesn't immediately want to be a superhero, and that she just wants to live her life regardless. Bruce suggests that because of her new powers, that's impossible. But it seems the show is going to suggest otherwise. It reminds me of Hawkeye and how he's the most grounded of the Avengers because he has the one thing he can go back to, which the others can't. A normal life. Because of how they grew up in the world and because of their duties, a normal life isn't ideal for them. The comedy in this show is hit or miss for me. It all really boils down to preferences for comedy. Again, comedy is subjective. You might like it, but I didn't as much as I wanted to. But there are some genuine laughs I got, specifically from the interactions with Bruce and Jennifer, and pretty much every joke with them I laughed. Especially the joke that Steve Rogers might be a virgin, and they doubled down on that in the end credit sequence. It was just brilliant. The only real gripe I have with the episode is something involving the two Hulks. Most of the episode revolves around Hulk helping his cousin with their transformation, but one thing I noticed was whenever they were in Hulk mode, their line readings range from slightly off-putting to just downright bad. It's obvious that how because they're wearing motion capture suits combined with them being in a blue screen room, and maybe a little bit of poor directing, that the actors feel unnatural or uncomfortable. At some points they sound lifeless, particularly when Bruce is Hulk, and sometimes the line readings are so unconvincing. Just listen to some of these lines.
You know the damage you can cause? Why wouldn't you listen to someone who's been through all this before?
Because we're different people!
Lunkhead!
Dummy!
What the fuck was that?
Whenever the actors are just themselves, their lines are definitely better. I hope this won't be a running problem with the show. But despite that, I enjoyed episode 1 of She-Hulk. The dynamic between Bruce and Jennifer, the improvement to She-Hulk CGI, the character of She-Hulk, and a lot of the comedy all gave me a pleasant experience. Although the line readings need some improvements whenever they're in Hulk mode, I'm able to overlook it because the rest of the episode was so damn fun. My rating is an 8 out of 10. So that was my review of She-Hulk episode 1, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright, that's it for now. Cinema Buff, signing out.